So it was 2 Sundays ago that I left Agape and I went home. And we had lunch and that, so I got to my computer about 2 o'clock, checked my email, pop in on Facebook to see how many friends I have. I have a lot. But I noticed I had one of those instant messenger things on Facebook, and I opened it, and it was from a woman that I knew from the prior center that I had belonged to when I was going to become a minister, prior to becoming a minister. And I haven't seen this woman in 8 years. And it was for a prayer request. Dear Reverend Lee, I'm in a world of hurt. I'm very ill. I'm about to lose my job. My life is coming to an end. I need prayer. And so I wrote a prayer back, and I wrote it for clarity and peace and inner healing. 2 hours later, I popped back downstairs, and the message was there that this individual had died. 36 years old. This woman had 2 children when I know her, and after I'd left, the 4-year-old had been killed in a car accident. And so I pop on to, and it bothered me. Just going to be very honest, it really bothered me because I'm wondering, could I have done more? Could I have been more present and that type of thing? And so I was going into remorse, a little regret, okay? And I was getting ready to come to teach class yesterday morning with my students and also the exams for 2 of the students. And so I pop in to do my daily thought, and I noticed there's an event, and the event was this young lady's memorial. And so I finish doing my class, I finished the practitioner exams, I had a counseling session, I did that. And I'm driving home, and I texted my wife, I said, I'm not going to be home. I'm going to the memorial. Something in me said go. And so I don't know why. I wouldn't have known anyone there, but I went. And so I sat through the memorial, and I knew a few people from the center that were there. But the key thing was, I didn't go for anyone but myself. I went there because there was something in me that said being there will cause me to become more clear. Being there will cause me to understand what life is a little bit better. And when I left there, I said, whoa, thanks for listening. Because hadn't I gone, I would have felt regret. So I'm taking regret, and I'm going to build on regret, because what does regret come? When we don't do something, are we judging ourselves? And if we're judging ourselves, we're sort of putting ourselves down, we're belittling ourselves, right? And so if we're belittling ourselves, in order to let that go, don't we have to go into self-forgiveness? And it's become really interesting because we talk about this thing about forgiveness, and everyone will come to me and say, Lee, I've done all the forgiveness work. I've done it over and over and over again. And I'm going to tell you, every little regret that we have builds an energy within us that we have to consciously choose to let go of. You see, this idea that consciousness creates, and that's what we teach, consciousness creates. And we know 5% of our thoughts are conscious, 95% of our thoughts are unconscious. And most everything that we experience is based on the 95% because they're automatic programs that are just running and until we uninstall them. But what I'm understanding is that we have to learn to manage our consciousness. And you see, forgiveness manages consciousness. What I came as well away from there with the idea was, if we don't forgive, we cannot accept. See, if I don't forgive Lee, I can't accept Lee. Does that make sense? Does that feel right? You see, you can't have one and have the other. It's either or. It's one or the other. That's how it is. So if I want to accept myself, I have to forgive and I have to let go of everything. Now, why would I want to accept myself? Because if I don't accept myself, I can't love myself. So the key to loving myself is to let go, to forgive myself of whatever is there. So it was Friday night, I was doing a wedding. So I'm going off of a funeral, I'm going on to a wedding. And when we become aware, we get lessons. And so being the minister that night, they gave me a microphone because they wanted to record the thing, videoing it, recording it. But it wasn't going through the sound system. It was going into the camera. So everything I was saying was being recorded. And they gave me this microphone like 20 minutes before. I want you to know, my butt puckered up. Because all of a sudden I was aware, when I'm with someone, can I say that? Wait, don't say that. It's going to be recorded. Then I realized this. Do we realize that our subconscious mind is recording everything we think, do, and say? Everything is being recorded. Not just what we're consciously focusing, everything that's happening all around us, all the energies around us, that subconscious mind can pick it up, and it is recording it down in that subconscious, and it's feeding probably the patterns of thought that have been there for all this time, all these years. It's just feeding it and build them, but we're in our consciousness over here, and we're saying, no, those patterns don't exist, but everything's being fed there. You see what I'm getting at? So this idea of really managing our consciousness is critical. And it's a never-ending idea. So there was this little cartoon that popped up, not cartoon, it was an actual thing, popped up on Facebook the other day. I never thought I would use it, but I'm going to use it today. And it was the story about how this young boy who was 8 years old, grandmother was really sick and in the hospital. In fact, she was close to near death. And so the little boy's parents asked the little boy to write a letter to grandma to help grandma feel better. So the little boy writes this note in cursive, which we're not teaching anymore, but he's writing it in cursive. And he says, Grandma, I know that when I don't feel good and things aren't working out, I do something and it makes me feel better. And he says, I want to share that secret with you. And he goes, Grandma, sometimes you just gotta poop. Think about that. What is he saying? You gotta let go. All of these thoughts that we've been building up, all of the anger, all of the hatred, all of the fear, all of those things, we just got to let go. We've got to get a big spiritual enema and get it gone. I don't know how else to say that because I'm walking around and I'm dealing with people all over Frisco, all over the Metroplex, and everyone wants to hold on to all the poison in them. And I'm saying, no, poop it out. Now, people all over the world are going to watch this talk or hear this talk, and they're going to be going, what happens at Agape? We have a subscription to Costco, so toilet paper comes cheap. That is not the thought I had in the hot tub. And so what I understand is that if we don't let go, how can we have a higher vision? See what I'm getting at? If we can't let go of all that stuff that bothers us, that's hurting us in that, we can't possibly get that higher vision. And until we can get that higher vision, how can our consciousness create that experience for us? So when you hear this idea that you hear in spiritual circles all the time, letting go and letting God, I take it a little bit differently. I'm not saying I'm going to let go and let this other power take over. That's not my intention at all. I'm going to let go of all the things that I have put into my mind that are no longer servicing me, and I'm going to let life through me expand higher and let the power within me go to that expansive idea, birth it into physical form, birth it into emotional form, birth it into mental form, and let me draw in that experience so that I can create this inner satisfaction within me that allows me to create a new desire, and from that new desire, I can go out and create a newer one. You following? So it is an eternal cycle of creating. We're always creating to be more. We are eternal beings that are here for one reason, is to create a greater experience of love, to have a greater expression of joy, to be more abundant. That is our natural birthright. But if we don't let go, we don't get more. And you see, we think that we get someplace and we're done with it. I thought when I became a minister, I was a minister about 6 months. I got it. I'm the minister. I got me a community. I know all there is to do. Then Spirit just slaps you upside the face. And you realize that you've come this far on an eternal journey. That, for me, is the definition of humbleness. Is when you realize no matter how much you know, there's an infinite amount more to know. It's not putting yourself lower than anyone else. Making sense? Humbleness is not putting yourself lower than anyone else. It's about realizing there's so much more to go. The other thing I want to talk about here is we argue all the time with ourselves and others for our own limitations. We defend our limitations. Can I ask why? I tried to figure this out for me. Lee, why are you arguing for your limitations? I'm just stupid, I don't know why I'm doing it. But sometimes that's what happens. We're so stuck in the idea of the race consciousness, the society consciousness around us, that we argue for our limitations. Why would we ever do that? Why wouldn't we argue for our greatness, for our expansion, for our becoming more? That's where we want to put all of that 5% consciousness. We want to put all of that emphasis in there so that 5% can put more into the subconscious mind, and we can change the makeup of the subconscious mind. You see, we let go and then we put new stuff in. That's the key to life. Now, that's very simple to say. It's simple to understand, but the work is doing it every day. And this idea that we've created at Agape, it's about creating a place where we teach the practices, we support you in every way possible so that you can do your work. Because I can't fix you. A practitioner can't fix you. Your mother wants to fix you, she can't fix you. Your father wants to fix you, he can't fix you. Your spouse wants to fix you. They can't fix you. You can't fix your children. You're hearing that? You can't fix anyone. You can work on yourself and you can create a magnificent flower that can go through life in beauty. So where's the power? It's in you. And that power in you is saying, please, 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 see me. Use me. Let me give you a life so fantastic that you become a light in the world that lifts the consciousness of humanity to an expression of peace, an expression of abundance, an expression of love. That is the dream, and the dream is you. Let's pray. I want to thank you for joining us today. I am so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask you to go to our website. Once there, click on the Contribute button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to the world. I would also ask you to please share this message with anyone you feel might benefit. Again, I want to thank you for joining me and the Agape community as together we bring joy to life.